talk a little bit about the actual album, some of the songs that you think are really going to stick with people, and collaborations, that type of stuff.
Well, you got like the singer, you got The Show Goes On, and which is a really good record. Words I Never Said, which is very political, social, controversial to some, tame to others, so in the same respect. That touches on a lot of different points and concepts. You got really personal records like Beautiful Lasers, which talks about me battling depression and suicide and other things. You have records like Till I Get There, which are, the extension of the conversation of Superstar, which is like fame. You're doing all this for fame and success, but is it worth dying for, so to speak? And what is that plateau? What is success? Whenever have you made it, There's songs like Pure Club Records, which have nothing to do with any type of meaningful statement of any sort. It's like, I don't want to care, but that's the statement in itself. Like, I don't want to care. There's my favorite record on the album, which is called All Black Everything, which is talking about what if slaves got paid, what if it was a business transaction, and how would that have changed, the face of America and the world, and so to speak. Culturally, financially, economic, the whole politically, the whole shindig. So there's records conceptually thought-provoking like that, and records like Out of My Head featuring Trey Songz, which is specifically for the ladies to sing along to, at the shows. So I try and cover all the bases, but still keep it, under the same, the whole point of it is all inspirational, and it's all positive. And it's all meant to, affect you and push you in a positive way and push out positive vibrations.
So I hit Twitter up and asked them what they wanted to know about the album, and a few people mentioned Jay-Z, and if you were working with or plans to work with again.
Maybe. Not on this record. It's because it's already done. But, maybe in the future. He's the big homie. He always looks out. So, might do some with Jay.
How have you managed to get to this stage in your career but still keep that underground essence? Like, when you first started, it's about the music, but now, you have to pay bills and you have to, abide by what some people want. Like, how are you able to stay yourself with all the external factors?
Sometimes you change, and then there's a certain level of, like, for me, I came into the game on a material swing. I came into the game materialistic. I've been in the rap game since I was, 18. So coming in, it was all about cars and this, and jewelry and this and this and this. So it's like a lot of stuff I had, lost, got back, didn't want anymore, kind of a situation. So there's a certain level of, like, maintaining who I am. There's like a Lupe Fiasco thing. There's an expectation of people for me to represent, like, just Lupe Fiasco doesn't wear watches. Lupe Fiasco doesn't drive fancy cars, and because Lupe Fiasco doesn't talk about that. But it's like, well, Wasalu Jacob likes fancy cars, and he's already had the watches, and he's already had this, and he's already had that. So there's to some it may seem like a hypocrisy, but it's like, for me, it's like, but I've always had that car. I just never rapped about it. You never really knew about it because I wouldn't let nobody take a picture of it, kind of a thing. But I've always had that fleet of this, and I always hung out with that guy, and I always went to this club, and I always went there, So it's like, I've been knowing Jay-Z before this, So it's not like I'm not really putting it in your face, but I've been knowing this guy. So there's actually a certain level of kind of censorship, coming into it. To when I become Lupe Fiasco, there's a certain, I'll tuck my chain in, I'll park my car, because there's, it's like, I won't wear this, I'll do like this, kind of a thing, just to kind of maintain that one side of it, not like the other side is fake, or Lupe Fiasco is putting on the front, because I really believe in the ideals as well, and the things that I talk about in my music, they're just as serious. So it's a certain duality, I used to call it hypocrisy, but there's a certain duality. But I think everybody does that. You know, everybody has their work face, everybody has their home face, everybody has their school face, everybody has their hustle on the block face, everybody has their, you know, steal a car face or sell a car face. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has their modes that work for where they are. So it's just that duality, you know, and sometimes I pull it off and sometimes I don't. You know, sometimes you succeed at it and sometimes you fail at it, you know.
It's part of being human.
Yeah. Humanity.
I wanted to talk about the Fiasco Friday and what your thoughts were on that, as far as your fans and supporters speaking out for you.
It was dope, you know. It was something that was unprecedented in the hip hop world. The petition and the protest, even if you separate them, they're both unprecedented in that sense. But together, it's even more like fantastic. Like, whoa, wow. You know, there's a certain level of responsibility. Definitely the level initially. You know, once that's so, you know, flattering. You know, once I got past that, it became, whoa, there's a certain level of responsibility now. That's even higher than you came into the game with, because now they're really listening. You know, people are really listening to what you're saying, to the point where they're putting themselves on the line physically. You know, beyond just going to a show. Like they went out and got the permits to protest, the police escorts, the barricades, the noise ordinance permits and allowances. Like they went and got lawyers to come in for it, set up a website to promote it, set up instructions, marching instructions to do. Which it was just such a thought out process. You know, it wasn't something that was an overnight. Oh, we're just gonna go down there and do whatever. And you know, it was like they really took their time. And even when they were doing the interviews, and you had people like you know, different MTV or whoever asking them, like, you know, why don't you protest something that's more, you know, that's worthy of a protest? You know, why don't you protest something like child hunger or poverty or gun violence or something like that? And you know, they were like, well, if you listen to Lupe's music, you know, or if you're aware of his music, then you know that's what we're doing. You know, he's a part of that. He's not the whole thing, and he's, you know, I definitely don't look at myself as being any shape, way, or form, any type of leader or anything like that in that world, but definitely a voice.